Hey there, welcome back to Coding with Drew. In this video, we're going to discuss how we make this little web page here, which is somewhat dynamic, and that this greeting is created with JavaScript, these images are created with JavaScript, and all this math is done with JavaScript. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing we're always going to do is create HTML. So let's open up our portfolio and create a new directory. And inside of it, we're going to call it hats. Make sure that this is inside the right directory. So we're going to move that in there. And inside of hats, we're going to create index.html. And inside of index.html, we're going to add another file, and it's going to be called index.js. And then we're going to create a directory, and it's going to be called media. Then we're going to create inside of hats another directory, and it's going to be called CSS. So inside of CSS, it's going to be called main.css. All right, so we have our file structure created. Now we go to index.html and we say HTML. I'm going to go quickly through HTML because we've already hashed this out, but I want you to have some practice with it. Let's change the title of the document to hats. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add Bootstrap into our project. So we go to the Bootstrap docs, and then we go to download, and we'll see there's two scripts to add. It's really three. This is a bundled script, right? So it's Bootstrap bundle. The bundle has both of these scripts built into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to use all three. So I'm going to take the first line here and I'm going to paste it into my header. And because I want it to load before my own CSS, which I would like to overwrite anything that comes from Bootstrap, we're going to say CSS/main.css. Now let's add the rest of Bootstrap. So Bootstrap right now will not work as you expect it to. We're going to add these two scripts here. We'll just copy that. And then we're just going to get it out of the very bottom of the body and we're going to paste that in. And just below it, we're going to say script, tab in, and we're going to say source equals, and inside of source equals, quote, index.js. All right, so now we've wired everything up. Let's go ahead and test it out. So let's go to main.css, and we're going to say star, and we're going to give it curly brackets, and we're going to say background color purple. And an easy way to test to make sure that your JavaScript file has connected is we can use alert, which I haven't taught you, but it's much like console.log. And you could use console log if you wanted to. Alert testing connection, in quotes, testing connection. And this is a good practice to do when you first create a project. So let's go ahead and save, and then we're going to open our index.html file, and we're going to click down here on our Go Live button. And we should see this pop-up says test connection, and the background color turns purple. So this is good. It means it works. All right, so let's go back to our main.css and delete that. And let's delete this alert. All right, so let's do some HTML. So we're going to have two containers. So the first container is going to be div.container. And inside of it is going to have div, and it's going to have an ID of greeting and a class of message. Inside of it, there will be nothing. All right, then we're going to do another div.container, and inside of it will be a div.row, and it's going to be empty. Then, right after that row, we're going to do div.column, and then we're going to add table. So table, and like all tables, we'll have rows. So we're going to have multiple rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 rows. So let's go ahead and add 6 TRs. And so the easiest way to do this is click on the number, Option Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, in the first one, we're going to press return inside of it and say TD, and we're going to press return inside of it. It's going to be an H2. So H2, and it's going to say custom hats. And then inside of that one, this next one, we're going to say total hats and colon, and that should work, but we're messing up because we don't have it inside of a TD. So TD, and then place total hats inside. So the total hats is then going to have a second row, TD, and that second row is going to be subtotal. So it's going to be TD, AD equals hats. And autocomplete got me there. All right, the next table row is going to be subtotal. So we need a TD, subtotal, colon, and then we're going to make another TD, and it's going to have an ID equal to, and it's going to be subtotal. All right, inside of this one, we're going to have shipping, so TD, shipping, and I pressed format, so Option Shift F, and it auto formatted for me. And then I'm gonna have TD. What you're seeing me do here is shorthand, so I'm doing TD, and then I'm saying hashtag for an ID, and I'm gonna say this is shipping, and then I press tab again, and it auto completes. There you go. Little trick. All right, and then the next one's gonna be a TD, and it's going to have an H4 inside of it. And inside the H4, we're going to say total, colon. And then we're going to make a new table row. And the next table row is going to have an ID of grand total. So grand. All right, and then the last table row, we're going to have an A tag. And it's going to have an href of hashtag and a class of button btn, and it's going to say buy now. All right, so let's go ahead and look at what this looks like now by clicking on go live and seeing what our hats looks like. So it's not anything really particularly special. In fact, let me kill this and make it go live again. The buy now button is showing up here, and it shouldn't be. So let's move it. Instead of it being inside of a table row, let's go ahead and delete it. And let's put it outside of this closing div right here, and then see what happens. So now the buy now button is here. And let's do BTN primary and see what happens. So I think it's BTN primary. Yeah, there we go. BTN primary. So now it's a blue button and this comes from Bootstrap. So if you're curious, you can go to the Bootstrap documents and you can look at their content types. Let's see, components button. And you can see this is button primary. So BTN primary. Okay. So our HTML is now complete. We have a finished product that looks, it's basic. There's no content in it, but this is our document. And then we're going to dynamically include our stuff that we like inside of it. So I'll see you in the next video where we add CSS followed by JavaScript. Take care. It's so cool. Coding with Drew. It's so cool. HTML.
HTML, CSS, WordPress. Get the lessons right here, get the lessons right here.